Hi, I'm Rob,
And I'm Angie.
and together,
We are
TwinFinity
and a cookie.
and a cookie.
We're not good when cookies involved. We get it all screwed up.
Yeah, we barely keep it put together when it's just two of us.
And Cookie is tolerating her hat not too bad. We tried a different hat and that
Yeah,
was just a no-go.
Where's the blinky hat?
Yeah.
I think I wore.
yeah, it's still
I think
blinking,
I think
too.
I wore the blinky hat a year or two ago.
Yeah, I wore it one year.
We tried to put it on Cookie.
She wasn't impressed.
No, too much struggling.
Yeah. Oh wow, look at it's making our computer colored.
Oh, that too.
Yeah. Ooh,
So,
that's bright. Cookie, you're doing very well.
somewhere. Oh yeah, there's the on/off button. Oh, that's just different. Oh, that's on. That's off. There.
Okay, do a quick smile so we have our picture for Christmas with the grumpy dog.
Yeah.
All right,
Right,
Cookie, the 4 things we make our dog do, hey? And you tolerate most of it so well.
Don't include me in the we part of this.
Okay, you can go lick him now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nope.
Oh, she doesn't want
Nope.
that.
She's out of here.
She's like, I'm leaving before you do anything else that's mean to me. So
But before we even got started, I put on my hat and I flopped this bit over here so that it would be floppy. And Angie put on her hat and it started out like that. And I said, you got to flop the hat over so it looks like you're wearing a hat. So she grabbed her hat and flopped it over and whapped herself right in the eye.
It's still a little sore.
Aww.
And you can't even see my little angel because I
Yeah.
didn't do very well on the hat thing this year. And there.
Yeah. So, and that was even before we were trying to do anything with Cookie. Couldn't even keep a pom-pom straightened out. Oops.
Yeah, we're struggling a little bit tonight.
Yeah, this could be real fun.
Or real not.
I went out for my first run in many weeks because it's been winter around here. And today was not very wintry. It was 9 degrees Celsius, which is just under 50 Fahrenheit. It was a beautiful day. A little bit breezy, but I could put on shorts and go for a run, so I did. And now my voice is all screwed up and my nose is running because, there's something called athlete's asthma. I get that. When I haven't been exercising very much and then I go out and do something crazy like a 3 or 4 mile run, all of a sudden my voice is all messed up and it coughs. So if I have to clear my throat lots, it's okay. I'm getting by.
Your voice is coughing.
If my voice was dead, it would be in a coffin.
Okay, we can turn the video off now and go home. Well, I can go home. You can go out in the garage.
I guess home is upstairs and in the garage.
That's right. That's right. So we didn't even discuss as usual what our little story is this week, but
I'm
I
glad.
have an idea if you have nothing.
I've got nothing. I didn't even think of it.
Let me make sure I get this correct. So our last video that we did was November 30th. And if you may remember or you may not, and that's totally fine, we play almost every night. We play a dice game called Kismet. It's like Yahtzee, but extra twists to it. And in that game, we both got a Kismet, or if you know Yahtzee, a Yahtzee in ones. So 5 ones.
Yeah.
On our first shake. We both got.
She got 5 ones and I got 5 ones.
Yeah. And we just thought that was so twin flamey to get. I mean, not
a bunch
just,
of ones make 11.
Yeah. And then some.
Somebody.
5 ones don't make 11.
Not even 10 ones. Someone was going to point that out to us, so I'm glad we said it.
Yes. So it was just a very kind of twin flamey sort of game right after we had done a video, which was kind of neat. It was cute.
Buzz.
And that's all we have for stories.
Because I didn't have a story.
There you go. Which means you can just dive right into questions.
If I didn't have a story, that meant I had a basement suite only.
It's going to be one of those videos. I'm sorry. I tried to convince him to do the video by himself, but maybe actually I should be doing the video by myself. Because you're too bad humored. I'm the tired one and he's the one with the bad humor. He usually gets worse humor the more tired he is.
Actually, I'm in great humor. Which means I'm probably tired.
I don't think I call it great.
It's the greatest I got.
Super good.
Start from the top.
You can start from anywhere you want. Yes, start from the top.
I could start down here.
No, we do them in order.
Okay. Dear Angie and Rob. See, she's the primary one.
That's right, as it should be.
I'd like your input on a gray area of a situation from a video I watched. The idea of just being in love with a person and just enjoying all the feelings without involving the person. This topic excites me because this is actually what I've been doing since meeting my divine masculine almost 6 years ago. He has not been available to me, so I've just been basking in the feelings of being in love with him because I am enjoying it more than if I tried to be in a relationship with someone else. Do you think this is affecting my dynamic with my DM? And if yes, then do you feel it is benefiting our connection or hindering it? I'm asking because allowing myself to experience the feelings of being in love with him is helping me get through each day, but sometimes it feels, by doing this, he feels it in our energy and is registering it in his subconscious that I'm okay. Conversely, I wonder if I allow myself to feel the pain and sorrow of not being with him, would that send out the call that he would subconsciously feel guided to respond to? This whole question hits a lot of things right on the head. Did you have a comment first?
I have a few, but I'm intrigued to hear yours if you have comments. But if you need to kind of think about it, I can respond first.
I'd like to just go right to that bit. Do you think this is affecting my dynamic with my divine masculine? And if yes, do you feel it is benefiting our connection or hindering it? I think far more benefiting.
I love it when we are opposite. This is good because then they get all perspectives. So you go ahead.
I could hardly believe why we're opposite on this one.
I don't know if we're fully opposite, but I have some thoughts on the other side of it.
Okay. I feel that if someone is being positive in their thoughts, and positive in their thoughts, especially towards their twin flame, it's really hard for me to understand, although it sounds like I'm going to very shortly, understand where that would really be negative. The only thing that it might be a bit negative on is in the person who is buried in their thoughts to the point that I don't know whether they're altering their reality, denying their reality, avoiding their reality, but at some point that is a stressful place to be in. So that could be a negative to this, where eventually you run out of energy to remain positive, and then you wonder, all of a sudden you start to really question yourself. It could be a bit of a setup for a future failure. But in the meanwhile, yeah, bouncing that positive energy throughout a connection is not the worst thing to do. A lot of people spend a lot of time feeling so frustrated with their connection that they just fill it with negativity. This is a case where a person's found a way to be at least positive, even though they're not in direct connection in 3D with their twin flames. So congratulations. That's actually pretty well done. Your turn.
I think it's important to have a balance, because that's what union is, and that's what you're kind of striving for in union with self, is a balance. So it's not about escaping the negative and only living in the positive. It's a matter of feeling both. And that's where I'm not necessarily disagreeing with what Rob said, but also wanting to see the flip side, that if you're just going to stay in the love portion of it and sort of escape there, then that's kind of like concerning to me. because this journey isn't about escaping anything. It's about feeling everything. The good and the bad, right? Like the both sides of it. So, if you're having a rough day where you're really missing them, and then you decide, well, I'm not even going to feel those feelings, I don't want to go there, and then you just bask in the love again, then you're denying yourself the ability to feel all of the feelings, because it's important to feel all of the feelings, because they're going to come up, they're going to come out some way. And if they don't, if you're going to constantly shove them down and only deal with the love and feel the love and be in the love, those feelings come out in dis-ease in the body, or other ways, So I think it's important to feel all of it. I've shared about when I had days where I had what I used to call bad Rob days, where I just was missing him so much. I just allowed myself, and what helped me was to put on music that reminded me of him and just cry. I just allowed myself to feel the feelings. So it's great, yes, to be in that love space. But I think, as I said, it's also important to feel the other stuff. Now, also, as far as the connection, is it benefiting our connection or hindering it? Again, your connection, the whole idea of what union is union with self first. And if you are in union by allowing yourself to feel the love feelings when you feel them, but then also feeling the other feelings when they come up, that's helping your connection. If you are escaping the feelings you don't want to feel and only going into the love feelings, that is then hindering your connection. So remember, we're not in this human experience to just have the love feelings and just have the good feelings. We're here to experience it all. That's why we're human. We're in a dichotomous, and what's the other word? I can't think of it right now. It'll come to me. But we're in a world of duality. That's what it is. So we can't escape that. When we're in a soul form, all we feel is the love feelings. We come to be human to feel the whole gamut. And sometimes the whole gamut sucks. It really sucks. But it doesn't mean we're here to run away from it. We came to the human experience to feel those feelings because we can't necessarily have them in the soul experience. So hopefully that makes sense. But as I say, it's important to have all of it, not just live in the love bubble all the time. Now, was there anything else?
I'd like to read a little bit of the last portion of the question again and then respond to it. Something about experiencing the feelings of love is helping me get through each day, but sometimes by doing this, he feels it in our energy and is registering it in his subconscious that I'm okay. Conversely, I wonder if I allow myself to feel the pain and sorrow of not being with him, would that send out the call that he would subconsciously be guided to respond to? Nice intentions, but all this is about the person who's writing the question, not the connection or not the full relationship. In other words, it's about the sending the love is about getting through the day,
right?
Not about involving the other person through a 5D connection, and then allowing to feel pain and sorrow. Would that sound out a call that he would feel guided to respond to? Again, that's sending out vibes in 5D that you'd be expecting a 3D response to. And that should, as much as that's supportive to the 5D relationship and the connection, that is really hard to hang your hat on as far as an expectation of a 3D response. So much like what Angie said, I think it's okay, very okay to show all sides of the feelings. But to actually try to predict what someone else is going to do when those feelings are felt, that's kind of like a dice game that we play, Kismet, that Angie's already talked about. It's a roll of the dice. It's a roll of the dice. Sometimes somebody's subconscious or 5D or 4D is ready to hear, and other times it's just a disturbance in their force, and they don't really know what it is. So lower expectations, but at the same time, being honest with your connection is also very important.
Yeah. Yeah. And being honest with your connection means being honest with yourself.
Yes.
And I think, kind of to go with what Rob is saying, it's almost like if you're trying to feel what you think will help your twin flame engage, that's control and manipulation rather than
authenticity.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's more about being authentic and not worrying about, well, how is what I'm doing going to cause them to respond or not respond? It's more about, what do I feel? What's genuine for me? Do I feel love today, or do I feel sad? Do I feel devastated? Do I feel angry? So I think it's less important to think about, how is my feeling going to cause them to feel or react, and just allow yourself to feel what you feel when you feel it.
Yeah.
That's really about more being authentic to yourself. And when you're authentic to yourself, that's when your twin is more likely to respond. Because remember, when they respond, they're feeling the call on the 5D, not the 3D. So when they reach out, it's because they feel your energy in its higher form. And when even if you're having a bad day, being authentic to that and feeling those feelings allows your twin flame to know that they're being true to themselves. So then that allows them to be true to themselves. So I hope that makes sense.
It does.
Okay.
By the way, just a comment for Angie. There's a blanket mauling going on over there, complete with teeth and claws and everything. Cookie's just being a brat.
Psychotic dog. She's got this new thing. I actually Googled this because ever since I broke my foot and our routine in the house has been different. The door she goes outside has been different because I couldn't go up and down stairs before. And of course, meditation has been totally different. She usually loves to come every night and meditate with me, and that's been different because now I lay on the floor and have to lay with my legs upside down on the wall. So her whole routine has changed. And I Googled why she's doing these things, and it says it can be stress. So her new thing is now she needs to scrape her blanket, whatever blanket she's got, and make it into this big ball for her to sleep on. It's like she's got to create a little nest. And Rob gave her a blanket on the couch today, and that's what she was doing, is making her nest with teeth, apparently.
Yeah, she was scratching at it, and then she was tugging at it with her teeth and trying to fling it, except the blanket's about 17 times bigger than she is.
And then she just left and went and laid on another couch where the blanket's not even there. All that effort, and then she's like, no, I don't want it anymore. Dog, goofy. So sorry, I just had to share the behind-the-scenes activity that's going on around here.
Yep, she's all tired now. No, she's going to have a nap.
She's going to lay there and wallow. All right.
Probably because we're not paying attention to her.
That's right. She's not the center of attention. So I think we answered all of the questions in that. That's a really good perspective, though. That's a great question that I think a lot of people would relate to, because I think it's often we want to feel what we think is going to make our twin flame somehow react or contact us or reach out or something. So, very good perspectives.
Yeah, we hear so often about people that struggle being in love, as opposed to just somehow or another finding a way to enjoy being in love. So that was a much different perspective than normal, really. Next question.
Yeah.
It's another long one. Okay. We ready?
Yep. Dive in.
Don't know if I'm ready.
My poor hat is not working tonight.
Okay. Oh, my hat's working just fine.
You read, I'll fix my hat.
All right.
My little angel's not showing very well.
Yeah. It says, I am married and I believe my twin is too. Although he lives in my neighborhood and some signs have been showing that perhaps he has moved out. Not sure. I have never felt the need to leave my husband. There are times that I have wanted to because of strong emotion, but it has never felt like the right move. I have 5 kids. My husband is a great father, and I truly want my kids to have a stable and loving home. My husband is getting better and better as I go through my struggles with my awakening, so I really have no good reason to leave. Of course, I do have a desire to be with my twin. Who doesn't?
Fair enough.
True. I'm in the surrender stage, and a lot of time I'm enjoying life. There are incredible struggles that I'd be going through whether I was married or not. I guess my question for you two is, do you think that if you guys stayed in your original relationships and continued working on yourselves, that your karmic would have just moved out of the way, or would have moved out of the way, or would have moved out of the way by the universe? I know you two were dealing with narcissism in your relationships, so it was probably the right thing for you to leave. Do you have any regrets besides the ones you've talked about, where you guys got together sooner than you feel you should have, and not waiting for the divorce? Oh.
Can I go first on that one?
You can go first.
It'll be interesting to hear Rob's perspective on this, because his relationship dynamic was different than mine. Mine was already crumbling even before Rob and I got back together. We had already, a year before Rob and I got back together, split up. We were still living in the same house, but he was living in the basement. I was living upstairs, and we were just amicably living as roommates. But we had already drawn up separation agreement and kind of living life separately. And then we decided to give it another try and went to counseling, and that went really ugly. It was worse. But so from my perspective, it was already falling apart naturally. So the universe was already guiding me onward and guiding him onward. But your dynamic was very different.
My dynamic was a little bit more along the lines of, as long as I stayed within the parameters that I was dealt and being told was best for me, that all would be a wonderful world. And as much as outwardly I was smiling and grinning and going along with it, inwardly I was very, very tired of it all. So,
and if I can interject, you had even considered breaking up with her and ending the relationship years before
earlier.
I was even back in the picture.
Yeah, I suppose what I was always waiting for was a right time or a better time or a time that made sense. I was hoping I wasn't just going to get to the point where I was just so frustrated that I had to run away. But I think when the universe started to open other doors, when Angie and I were getting more and more in contact, it came to light that I needed to make a move. And I also had other pressures on me from within myself. At that time, both my parents were in ill health, and I kind of needed to send them a message that I was going to be okay. And they had kind of figured out that I was not okay. So while they were still, quote unquote, alive, I needed to let them know that I was going to make my life a little bit better. So the sense of urgency didn't really come from within me, or it didn't come from really between us. It also was strongly influenced by my need to send a message to my parents before they passed on.
So, going back to the question though, if
That was very much the universe, by the way.
okay, but if you hadn't done anything on your end, do you think your karmic partner would have on her end?
No.
Agree.
No. As long as I was doing my part, I was doing my part. Always going to stay happy.
So to go back to this person's question, to relate it back to them, your situation's a tricky one to be in. I so understand where you're at of you're happy in your relationship, your kids are happy, you don't want to rock the boat for them, you don't want to rock the boat for your husband because you're in a pretty good place together, but you'd like to be with your twin. That's a tough one. I know for us, we waited. We had so many conversations back and forth about allowing the universe to like let things kind of collapse on their own, and it wasn't happening. So Rob made the decision of like, okay, this date, I'm doing it. Like he seriously put a date on the calendar and decided if nothing's going to unfold for us, I'm going to do it myself. And that might be how you have to do it. Like there's no one way this journey works, and everybody's kind of got to go their own way. The universe doesn't always just make it a nice easy path. Quite frankly, at least this was our perspective. For us, it was like we had to prove to our own soul, to the universe, I don't know to who else, but it was like we had to prove we wanted this, and we would go through hell and fire to be together. And you know our journey, we went through hell and fire to be together.
We did.
And sometimes that is the path, even though you think it's going to be a nice smooth path because the universe wants you to be together, they're going to just hand it to you. From other people we've heard from, it rarely happens nice and smooth and easy and just hand it to you on a platter.
Sometimes it's like that door that opens 1,000 miles in front of you, and you've got to follow the journey to get to that door. And it's not just paved highway.
Nope. It's going to be gravel and bumpy as hell, and you got to go through every ounce of challenge. And often, again, I'm not wanting to scare anybody, I'm just trying to keep it real. Often, as you're coming into union, everything else around you crumbles. You start losing friends, you might lose your job, you might go homeless.
Yeah.
Like, just everything goes to crap. And it's again to not necessarily test you, but test you. I don't know what other way to put it. But it's basically to see how strong are you. Are you ready for union? Because union isn't all roses and rainbows like people think it is. It's challenging sometimes. And so it's like, are you ready for the challenges? And you have to both commit and be like, we'll do whatever we have to get through this. And that's what we did. We didn't know at the time it was going to be one challenge after another, and there was going to be parental deaths, and there was going to be lawsuits and court cases and exes and cop cars at our house and like nutty things, and me begging Rob to leave so we could end this chaos, and him going, no, I ended our relationship once and I'm never doing it again. So you sometimes go through all the challenges to prove to each other and prove to yourself that we want this. We will do whatever it takes to be together. Hopefully yours isn't that hard, but it's not always a smooth, nice, paved road. Sorry for the bad news.
Angie alluded to this a little bit earlier in what she was saying. It's very difficult to step towards union without both of you stepping towards union. So until a plan starts to unfold before you that both of you are aware of and both of you see as a possibility, just let the universe do its thing.
Yeah.
If you've got a little bit of happiness and stability in what you have, don't rock that boat. Don't rock that boat, because as soon as you start to rock that boat, it just tips over. There's no rock it a little bit and see how much it'll bend. No. You either dump the boat over or you stay with the boat and keep it afloat.
Especially if you're not even really in contact with your twin right now.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
you don't even know where they're at. There's no point in changing your dynamic unless you feel guided to. Again, like, never take our advice over your own inner guidance, right? If your inner guidance is saying, okay, now's the time, well, then you need to honor that. But our advice is, if you're not getting that, not just nudge, but like a push, like I got the you have to do this now kind of push, and I was terrified. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're not getting that, then it's not time.
Test all your waters with your twin. Therefore, they're way more likely to be receptive and or give you a quick answer whether now is the time or not than testing your waters otherwise. Yeah. But it's one of those, it's one of these things that we can't get around the thought that we live in our little 3D world. No matter how much other connections are there, this is the world that is in jeopardy of getting all mixed up. It's, you know, the husband, the 5 kids, etc. That's a lot of upheaval.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And yeah, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Unless you have a plan and you're committed, let the universe do the guiding.
Yeah. You'll know when you're guided. You'll know it'll be so strong you can't deny it. Even if you have comfort and you're like, well, I kind of don't want to because I don't want to rock the boat. Oh. The universe will be like, it's time, do it. And you'll be like, okay.
There'll be a curveball that is thrown at you somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like Rob says, don't rock the boat if that's not there, because then it's not time. And if you do it too early, then everything collapses and then you're left with just shambles with nothing moving forward. You know, no twin to go to, and now no relationship. And so it's always about honoring, again, like the last question, honoring yourself and honoring what you're feeling. If you're not feeling that it's time, then it's not time. So, yeah. But we wish you luck when it is time. And hopefully it'll be a nice, smooth path.
Be where your feet are.
Oh. Can we share where that comes from?
You can.
It's actually from Rob's ex, the one we were just talking about. Yeah. I think that's the coolest advice ever.
Yeah.
Be where your feet are. It's profound, simple, but profound advice. In other words, be here now. Be in the moment.
Boy, I sure don't deny myself any lessons I learned in my past. Because, the journey where I've been has brought me to the journey where I am.
Exactly. And that's why maybe it's not time yet, because there is still more to learn in your current connection. For you, for your kids, for your husband, there's still obviously learning to do, or it wouldn't be there. It would have fallen apart by now in some way, either gracefully or ungracefully, if you need those lessons. Hopefully you don't, like we did. But yeah, good advice. Be where your feet are.
I feel like tangenting just a little bit.
Oh dear Lord.
Way back when we first got together, we didn't have much for furniture, but we did have dishes and knives and forks and food to put on it. So there was something called the living room floor. And we made the best of it. We sat on the living room floor and ate our supper.
We were like newlyweds with no furniture because our exes got all the furniture.
and we would laugh about it then.
Yeah, and we still do.
Yep. And now, years later, Angie's had a foot break. And we managed to turn something that would be typically very complex, like grocery shopping, into something that we could laugh about. Yeah, we showed that picture in the last video. So when you can put together a relationship and a plan that you can commit to and continuously make the best of, as opposed to throwing all chances to the wind, that's when it's time to make whatever move you feel needs to be made.
Yep. That fire is getting very warm.
Yep. I feel like my forearms are a little bit chilly because we're downstairs in our basement, and my shoulder blades are sweating. Mixed signals.
We're not going to delve into that any further.
It's
Look,
nice.
a nice short question for you.
Okay. It is a very short question, and I'm having troubles making sense of it already.
Do you want me to read it?
You-
Apparently so. If I don't have dreams about them, i.e., my twin flame, and if we are far away in different countries and different religions, does that mean it's possible for union? And I'm going to just add, or not. Interesting question. I really like that, because I can see how some people would really struggle with, like, okay, I don't even dream about them, and we don't even live in the same country, and we're not from the same religion, so how are we ever going to have union? And much like the last question, when it is time, the universe, as well as, we say the universe, but really I think it's more your own soul, your one soul decides it's time, and there ain't nothing that's going to keep us apart. And miracles, yes, we just said there was tremendous challenges in the last question, but what we didn't say is true miracles would happen. I actually counted, I think, when we got together, like 4 miracles, what I would class as miracles, happened. Like things that I didn't think were even possible happened and changed and came together. So heaven and earth and mountains and oceans will be moved when it is time to come together. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you're in different countries. It doesn't matter if you're in different religions. It doesn't matter if you don't have dreams of them. You probably do have dreams of them. You just don't remember them. So that's okay. So definitely union is still possible, even with these challenges. And I don't know why I continue to forget the word, but I linked it in our last video. The video we did about the different sort of challenges, templates, the word templates. I got to get that in my head. We are here to
challenge, move, bend.
Thank you. All those templates. And these are different templates, having different religions, living in different countries. Because our society says, well, you must be living near each other. Our society says, well, you have to be in the same religion to be together. Our society says you have to be the same gender or the opposite gender to be together. And that's part of the twin flame journey, is to break those templates and show the world and show everybody that love is love is love. And when it is true love, you will move heaven and earth to be together, and it can happen. So that's exactly what these people's soul have chosen, to have these challenges in order to be together and to prove that it doesn't mean we can't be together, and it doesn't mean we won't be together. So I rambled on. Do you have anything to add?
I do. I got a comment about how the question was written, but at the same time, I don't know how to express myself. So I'm going to dive into it and get it all wrong, and hopefully nobody's going to jump all over me for not quite getting it quite right.
Just Cookie will jump all over you. Oh, she moved to your blanket.
Yep, she did. She eventually
evolved
reparked
back
on the
over
blanket. Probably there's no blanket there anymore.
Probably not. Weird dog.
She's probably all shuffled aside. You know, it almost seems like, and I'm just having fun with this, okay, that people could have everything all put together. They could be in touch with their twin. They could have plans together. They could have a connection that they don't understand but both respect. But if they don't dream about each other, there's something wrong. People put a lot of weight on dreams. And oftentimes it's because they don't quite understand dreams, so they they try to put dreams into a spot where it must be a message from spirit, must be, or from the spirit side,
Right.
because they don't really know how to interpret or understand or even make sense of some dreams, because some dreams are really crazy. In some cases, there's something called dreaming with your eyes wide open. We call that daydreaming. You know, if you've got a whole lot right in your connection with your twin and you don't dream about them at night, but you have pauses in your day where you dream about them in the day, that still is also very, very significant. Because, you know, with all the opportunities to stay focused and conscious in your day, sometimes when a person breaks away in daydreams, it's because they're paying attention to a higher dimension. Something has called them. So daydreams can be just as important as night dreams. That's where I'm trying to go.
Well, and also, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but did you have dreams of me?
Not at night, no.
There you go.
No.
So, yeah, you don't need to. And I honestly I only started dreaming of you when I tried to cut the cord.
Ah, yes.
He came to me in a dream and he begged me not to, and he gave me this whole like song type message. And other than that, well, and after that I started having dreams of him, and before that I don't think I'd ever dreamt about you, like in our whole 18 years apart. No, not that I remember. So yeah, you don't, just because you don't dream of the person, it doesn't mean.
If you're having dreams, yay. If you're not having dreams, don't worry about it.
It's okay.
Of all the thousands of different ways that communication can happen, if you're missing one of them, even if it seems important, if you're missing one of them, not a biggie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
Yep.
I think I can handle this one.
Well, thank God.
The weirdest part so far has been energetically helping him and his wife manifest a baby.
I'm so intrigued by this.
And in brackets it says, still freaks me out to think about it, and I wouldn't be able to tell him because it's just creepy from my human brain, so he just most likely would be creeped out to an even bigger extent than I am. The spiritual part is the hardest part because I hate being judged for it, but I judge myself too, so what can I expect from my twin, even if I judge my experience? Do you have any tips for embracing the spiritual experiences and releasing the judgment from myself? Embracing the surrealness of unconditional love and love energy is not being protective and triggering when other people doubt you and think you're insane.
Is that the end? Yeah.
That is the end.
I think it's important to remember the bigger picture, the 5D picture, the soul picture, knowing that if you've helped him manifest his own child, that is also energetically your child, right? So on a soul level, that is part of your soul family just as much as it's part of his soul family. So I always like to manifest in the positive. So I always say when something happens, so when your union happens, this will be just as much your child as it will be his child and his now partner's child. So when you're together with him, you'll be just as bonded with this child as he is. And it won't feel like you're a step parent. You'll feel like the child's parent because you are. On an energetic soul level, you helped create this being, or on this earth you've helped create them, but on the higher earth you've helped bring them down or call them down into the physical. I think that's absolutely beautiful. What a gift you've given all of you. Your twin, his current partner, yourself, and also this soul that wanted to be part of this beautiful experience. that's magical to me. Like, this is a pretty advanced soul that's chosen to be part of such a unique connection. It's almost like an adoption kind of a soul, right? Where one person or two people create that being, but then another family adopts them. So really, you have like two families. On a soul level, you choose that, and this soul is obviously choosing this situation as well. So, it's just so beautiful to me. I love it.
Angie has answered that so well that I almost have nothing to add.
But you do.
But I do.
Because you wouldn't be you if you didn't have anything.
I've sometimes had nothing.
That's true. The last video, you had nothing. I was shocked.
Yeah, that sometimes happens, but not on this one. You know, I'm very much a step-by-step person. And when step A is done, you go to step B. Step B is step C. And sometimes, it goes from step C to step like X and Y and Z all in a hurry. And you just go with that when it happens. What I felt when I was reading that question was the thought that a soul becomes two, you become twin flames, is for the opportunity for greater growth so that there's two different dichotomies of experiences. It almost felt like as twins, you'd already had children together, I'll say a different lifetime. And now it's time to experience having children apart.
Oh, wow. See, that's a great perspective.
So it's part of your growth process, your growth pattern. So yeah, don't be afraid of it. Yeah, go with it.
Wow, that's a neat perspective.
Yeah. That's what I felt when I was reading the question.
Cool. So you've had children together before, and now you're having children apart, per se. But they're still your children.
Or maybe it could be the opposite direction where you're having children apart so that you can get used to the concept so that you're more ready to have children together at a different time. And whether it's a different time this lifetime or a different time next lifetime, it can work both ways. But if that is what the feeling needs, or if that's the feelings that you have, if this is the path that you feel you must support, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Do it.
And don't take the judgment of it. See the beauty in it, because you don't know what a gift you've given all of you. Like, I just think that's incredible. What a beautiful, I'll say sacrificial gift you've given, because to help your twin with somebody else manifest a child, that shows your ego is in check. You're not all about ego, and because a lot of people really get triggered when their twin is either married someone else or with someone else, or definitely when they have children with someone else. And here you're helping them bring this into fruition. That just shows how, again, I don't like using the word advanced because it sounds ego-ish, but on a soul level, how advanced you are. Yeah. I
think you're very in tune
absolutely
with yourself, your soul, and your journey.
Yeah, and seeing the bigger picture. So I would celebrate that. That's really, really special and sacred and beautiful of you and all of you to collaborate. And it also just shows, we often want to see our twins' partner or karmic or whoever they are as the enemy, right? But they're not. They're part of the journey. Just like our two exes on a soul level are just as much of this journey as we are. We wouldn't be together without them. They agreed to play the roles they played to help us, and it also served their journey. So you are gifting this other woman as well as she is gifting you. You're all working in collaboration together on a soul level. That's really special. Very much so. Yeah. Wow, that's really cool. I think we have time for one more, and I think it ties really well. I couldn't believe this when I read the questions.
It sounds like if we didn't have time for one more, there's going to be
We're
one
doing
more.
it anyway, yeah. Yeah, we're okay.
Okay.
Because this one also talks about pregnancy, and when I read the questions, I was like, I can't believe those are one right after the other.
So you talk about letting the universe decide things. We do this all the time. We just go with it. We're not surprised. You still get to be amazed. There's a difference between being amazed and being surprised. Sometimes you're almost wondering what's wrong if you're not amazed at something that happens in a day. Okay, next question. There's some really capital letters in there. I found out today,
which is not today.
Not today, that my twin got his ex-karmic pregnant. They are not together, but this is devastating for me. He is also very avoidant and pushes me away every time we speak. It's been 5 years of separation. How should I handle this? And in other words, what do I do? I feel like nothing is going my way and I feel lost.
So the first piece of advice I'd give you is to back up the video and listen to our response to the last question and take that in as an answer for you as well, because that so applies to this question in so many ways. You might not have consciously helped create or bring this soul into being, but you're definitely part of it, or you wouldn't be in your experience, right? You've drawn it into you because it's part of your experience. So again, on a soul level, I would say that this child, even though him and his karmic are no longer together, because you and him are connected, you are connected to that child. It is also partly your child on a soul energetic level. So if you can see it from the bigger picture rather than going, oh my God, my twin is now like fathered a child with someone else, this is devastating, and how could we ever be together, and how would I want to be with him, and all the things the ego wants to think of, which again are valid, right? Like we talked about in the first question, you have to feel all the feelings, and sure, you're going to feel upset and disgusted and frustrated and angry and hurt and betrayed, and the list goes on. It's important to feel those, and it's okay to feel those, but it's also okay to see the higher perspective of it and be maybe happy about it someday too. No, I just ranted, and I don't even know if I answered the question.
Well, you were on the mark.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna go from a different point of view than what Angie did. I'm gonna step almost right down to being in the complete of the 3D on this one. I love supporting the 5D connection, but
that's why it's good that we do these together, because then we get different perspectives.
Yeah, this is good that you don't send me away because of my bad sense of humor sometimes.
Well, no, it should send you away for your bad sense of humor. I'm just saying with different perspectives in answering a question. Your humor has nothing to do with this.
Except you'd be doing the video all by yourself if
I
followed orders.
Well, no, only if you have bad humor.
I'm going to say this poor guy is in a huge time of flux. Now, you two have been in separation for 5 years, and it keeps pushing you away every time that you speak. But this would be the right time, I think, to show maybe a little stability that this guy probably doesn't have right now, and just be someone, if required, that's going to be there for him. And you could possibly say that this is very hard on you. You don't know what to think. But at the same time, don't be afraid to wish him his best of his luck and hope and ability to put together whatever he's going to put together, even if it's kind of nothing. And just be there like a little bit of, and there's one of my favorite words, be there like a support pillar. But don't try to be the support pillar. Be available when he needs it. But in the meanwhile, this whole bit is going to be pretty hard on him. He's probably not going to be too worried about Twin Flame trying to chase him down when he's just stepped himself into a brand new, different situation that could be a little bit hard to deal with for a while. So you can expect that he's not going to need you.
And he's probably pushing you away because he's maybe ashamed or feels like he'll be judged, because he's going at it from his own perspective, which probably he's not really happy about. So he's not wanting to reach out, not because of you, but because of his own insecurities and inadequacies that he's probably feeling right now.
And if you're also the rescuer type, right now is probably not the right time to try to rescue someone. They're probably putting together their own battle plans and wanting to sock it out on their own.
Which men often do. They go in their cave, right? They got to figure it out for themselves.
They got to figure things out.
Yeah,
so
they have to.
Yeah. Just be a gentle, positive source of whatever source of comfort you can be in the background and just let it ride.
Yeah.
When you show that little bit of strength and maturity and ability to not just be another problem all of a sudden in his life, that could be appreciated later.
Yeah.
I know that was highly 3D, but
no, I don't think that's highly 3D. I think that's very valid. Yeah.
Be one of the easiest people in his life, not one of the more burdening people.
Or somebody that's going to judge him or come down harshly on him, because he's probably doing enough of that himself right now. So, yeah. No, I think that's very good advice.
Okay.
Well, that was a heavy group of questions for a Christmas video.
That was.
We didn't actually think that through well, but we just take the questions as they come.
I don't have to think this out well. I get handed a clipboard and I go, oh my God, look at all that ink. There's got to be 400 words in that question. That should be fun.
Now that we have talked about manifesting children and children coming through when you don't plan for them and all these tough things and trying to be happy in your twin flame connection when you're apart and wondering if you're going to be together because you don't have dreams, and that's a lot of heaviness. I'm sorry. Happy Christmas.
I don't know if I dare say this. I could be in trouble. It could be the end of the video in a hurry.
You could be sleeping in the garage tonight.
I could be sleeping in the garage, and that could be because of comments we're going to get. Remember, with all this planning or not planning or whatever, that Mary and Joseph didn't really plan Jesus to come along either. And it's a Christmas video.
Nicely tied in. No, you're actually allowed to sleep in the house tonight after that one.
I don't know where I get that from.
That was actually a good segue. That was... And look at how it turned out for them,
Well.
Okay, look at the bigger perspective. We still celebrate it. Well,
yeah, two of them had to hide for the rest of their lives, and the third one ended up hanging from a cross of wood.
No, but we're not talking about that portion of it.
It's not an Easter video.
No.
Oh, no. Sorry, folks.
You just ruined it again.
Merry Christmas.
You created a nice little happy bubble, and then you went pop. All right. Well, we'll leave you with.
Yeah, she gets to live with that all the time.
Yeah, that's why I threatened to ban him to the garage because it's terrible sometimes. When his humor gets really bad, I'm like, "You're really tired, aren't you?" He'd be like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Well, it shows.
Yeah.
Just go to bed. Stop talking and telling me bad jokes." At least you can hit pause or delete or shut your computer. No, I'm stuck with it.
There's a little bit of pause. No delete. And I don't think I get shut down.
There's 4 pause over there.
Yeah, 4 pause.
If you're going to be bad jokes, I get to. All right, I think it's time to go. We're falling apart.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, and Happy all the other things. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I forget what they are.
Well, just say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
hope-
Happy other things and Happy New Year.
And if you don't celebrate Christmas and don't follow the Julian calendar, just be happy.
Okay, that's fair too.
Okay. And I won't pop that bubble.
Very generous of you.
All right.
All right, thanks for your great questions. We will be back with some more some other time. And until then, what'd you say? Happy Christmas, Happy New Year?
Yes.
Okay, or
Yep.
happy holidays, or all
Yeah,
of the
them.
above. Yeah,
Yes.
whatever.
Bye.
Bye for now.